What's going on, guys? Episode 32. We are here today with Cornelius, and don't judge me for the pronunciation of this, but Dämmrich, which is apparently the German pronunciation of that. So I hope I did that right. Cornelius Dämmrich. And so he is obviously having a ton of success in the industry. He just sold a piece for a monster sum of money. We actually had this plan beforehand, and so that's just I keep on. It feels like I keep catching people like right before this like blow up happens, which is awesome because they come in and they're hyped because of the good news and life changing, game changing type money coming from those things. So it's awesome to hear him talk about what drives him, and regardless of whether or not the money keeps coming or the situation changes, he still wants to make art. And so we go through just everything as far as him getting started, what drives his art. We go through and showcase a couple of his pieces, which are absolutely incredible. The links are going to be down below. As usual, guys, check out the art because I think that really like frames the actual conversation. It's hard to, really like see what we're talking about without actually seeing it. I do my best to try and pull it up on the screen, but yeah, it's just good to have it up in front of you on top of that. So check it out down below. As always, honestly, like just another awesome conversation and super talented, really, really minute details, really, really just a ton of work out of this guy, just hours on end. And so that seems to be one of the keys for his success. And so really excited to see where he goes. I think that we probably hit the nail on the head. And I think hopefully this might be the push for him to make a piece with Philip Hodas, which will be awesome because his work is incredible. Philip's is incredible. And so together, that's going to be just absolutely epic. So hopefully that happens. And as always, thank you guys for the time. Appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. Stay safe. Peace. I guess, do you want to just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and then what got you into digital art?
Sure. So my name is Cornelius Dämmrich, or Dämmrich, as you say in Germany. I'm 32 years old. I live in Cologne, in Germany, and I'm a digital artist for 17 years now, roughly, I think.
Mm,
And I work in advertising, uh, like always. So I went to college and got like a degree in media design and everything, but I'm pretty much self-taught in 3D.
mm.
And yeah, so I'm mainly a 3D artist these days. And yeah, I'm doing that since I think 15.
Wow.
Yeah, lots of war stories to tell.
Mm.
Yeah, that's like my daily thing. I just sit down and do hyper realistic big scenes. That's what I'm known for, right? So at my job, I don't do these kind of things. I just do advertising, real-time stuff,
Mm.
Unreal Engine, that sort of fun. And at home, in my personal time, which I value very much, I do very big detailed scenes that can take quite some time to finish. So that's pretty much what I'm known for in the industry or in the community.
Mm. And so are you I'm a huge Gears of War fan, which is like a big video game from, whatever. At this point it's like old and nobody really plays it, but like that was made on Unreal Engine. And so are most of
Mhm.
your pieces made in Unreal Engine?
Oh no, no, no! It's Unreal Engine is just the thing I'm recently starting to look at for the company I work for.
Mhm.
Um, Personally, my private work is all done in Cinema 4D and Octane render. So the combination of these
Mm.
both, like the render engine Octane render and the DCC Cinema 4D.
Nice. So when you were just starting out learning and stuff, you're, a kid by most measurements, right? So
Yeah.
you're a kid, you're kind of busting onto the scene. When did you start working at it professionally, and like how was that kind of transition?
Yeah. So when I was 15, I think, yeah, 15, I'm not 100% sure, but
Mhm.
around that time. So this was more like a hobby. We all got our hands on, like me and a few of my friends got our hands on a copy of Cinema 4D, and we
Mm.
tried it out and just on and off, just played around with it,
Mm.
just like as a toy. Um, then this got more serious and became like a serious hobby, and the transition was like really slow. I used to do some freelancing beside my school and university, and so this is just like not, there was no direct cut that I said, okay, now I'm working, now I'm a professional. It was always semi-professional, and even when I worked at it full time, it sometimes wasn't even professional, so it's just switching back and forth. And yeah, I don't know, I never had like this point where I thought, okay, now I'm a professional. I always considered myself like playing and being professional at the same time. And there's also, I mean, what's the definition of being a professional, right? If you earn money with it. I don't know. When I was like 17, I think I sold one of my designs for like 200 euros. And that was, I mean, wasn't like contracted for it, but you could consider that to be like a professional move if you follow the definition. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like a pleasing answer now, but
No, it's good. No, I mean it sounds to me like you're just kind of, having fun with it, and there was never
yeah,
this like defining point of, okay, today I am artist. Like it's always just been,
yeah,
that you're doing what you're doing and having fun with it, and yeah.
yeah. I mean, I never started that because I want to earn money,
Mm,
or because I thought, okay, that this will be like a good career. If I wanted to earn money, I would like go into computer science or something like
yeah.
that, or economics
Mm,
maybe. I mean, artists in Germany are really shit paid, so it's not like a career, or like the design industry. It's like all not well compared to, yeah, I mean, it always depends where you live, right?
mhm,
But in Germany, it's not like, ooh,
yeah.
impressive salary. So
Yeah. That seems to be, the common thread of, most artists like not really getting financially recognized the way that they should, and then,
yeah,
this.
I mean, even if they work in games and movies
Mm,
and everywhere, it's just like usually it's you work for a company making advertising, movies and games.
mm,
You have lots of overtime,
mm,
and the pay isn't like, I mean, it's okay, but it's not like, wow,
yeah.
that's worth it.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So yeah.
So do you think that as you continue to grow and, really, I mean, your last piece did very, very well. And so, do you think that as
Well,
your success.
just like a what do you think is my last piece?
Oh, I thought it was, well, the last piece that I saw sold was the 6088 AD.
Yeah, okay.
Mm,
So that's um that's the last thing I sold as an
mm,
NFT
mm,
in the crypto art community, and it actually is from 2017. So the last piece I've publicly shown must be the multi-shot series. That's what, like
mm.
the syringes. I,
Yes,
I don't know
yes.
if you've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the last
Okay.
project I released. So it's like flipped.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, it's the last thing, the last big thing on my timeline,
Yeah.
and that I posted in social media.
I just I pulled up the piece for 6088, and I'm just gonna pull up
Yes.
the multi shot. I'm just gonna do one because just so that way people can kind of get a feel for it. And
Yeah.
so yes, so it seems like you have like a great reservoir of art that is waiting to be published, especially based on that, right? Like if that's from
Yes.
2017, then I would assume, right, that your skills continue to grow, you continue to figure out new things and new skills and everything. And so like how deep does the treasure chest go? Like how not
I mean, there's like, so that's just like the catalog of work I already released before I entered the NFT space, right? So I got into crypto art in October 2020,
mhm,
so 4 months ago,
uh-huh,
and because I saw it on my timeline, I was like, okay, what that's like crazy amounts of money for
mhm,
JPEGs,
mhm,
And then I learned, okay, it's not about JPEGs, and um then I got into SuperRare and sold my first piece, and recently sold 6088 AD for a life-changing amount of money,
Mhm.
I would consider.
Yes.
And the catalog of work so there's like pretty much two big projects left.
Mhm.
So one is called Blitz.
Mhm.
It's also already published. It's on my website. You can see it there. And the other one is like the major one, which is called 52 Hertz.
Mhm.
And they all consist of like, I think, 4 to 5 images. So I can essentially mint 8 images, and
Okay.
then I'm out of work. But I'm still already working on new stuff. So
Nice.
yeah,
I found Blitz, um,
yes.
which, and I pulled it up just so that way people can kind of see it. Which, could you give me a description of Blitz? I would just love to be able to pick it up. Is that the one with the hexagon tiles in like the futuristic landscape? Is that it?
No, it's like a bomb, like an aerial bomb. Wait, I can send it to you.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Oh wow.
Yes,
Okay. Okay. I got it.
it's
All
the
right, I'll put
third
that.
one in the
Mhm.
row. It's just like a bomb with an old dude in it,
Mhm.
and yeah.
Wow.
So this will be the next one.
Mm.
Um, well, the image series, that's the next one I will mint
Mhm.
and release on the in the crypto art community.
Yeah.
Not sure when, but
Mhm.
we will get to
Yeah.
that.
So, so I read your bio, and
Yes.
do you think that do you want to? I don't know if you want to hit it or not, and it's totally okay either way. But do you want to talk about like your childhood? Do you think that that plays a factor in your style of art and inspiration in these pieces, or?
Well, my childhood. So I grew up in East Berlin.
Mhm.
Like Berlin was divided back in the 80s, and like in the post-war Germany, and I lived in the eastern in the Soviet part,
Mhm.
just 1 year before the wall fell.
Mhm.
Right, so I was born in the German Democratic Republic, and then we moved to West Germany in the American part or British part or French part or whatever,
Mhm.
and so and my parents and my mom and my grandparents, they all like pretty much their whole life they lived in East Germany. I don't know if that played any part of it, but you always had like these stories that your neighbor is like spying on you and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And yeah, it was like we had like a really liberal family,
Mhm.
so liberal people living in ex-Soviet Germany. And I don't know if that had any impact on my art actually.
Mhm.
Like the only thing I remember is that like my mom always gave me the freedom to do everything I want,
Mhm.
so there was like no barrier. She always said, okay, you can do that
Mhm.
if you want to stay up until like, I don't know, 2 a.m.
Mhm.
and play video games, go for it.
Yeah.
It was like cool. And it was the same thing when I started doing art stuff, right?
Mhm.
So she said, yeah, well, paint pretty pictures on the computer if you
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
go for it.
That's,
And this support, I think that was like the most crucial part,
mhm.
that she always like supported me. And there was no you it's like bad for you to sit on in front of the computer all day, which might not be true. I don't know how bad it is, but
Mhm.
it wasn't bad for my art career, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, there's like in these pictures I make, there's like tons of little stories,
Mhm.
like, and there might be something about my childhood in there, but it's not like a big topic that I focus on. It's more
Mhm.
like nostalgia and
Mhm.
like, hey, do you remember when we used to do this and that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Nice. I mean, I just asked because they seem to be, very like almost grim, somewhat like some of the pieces feel like almost like a like post-war dystopia kind of thing, and that's kind of where it comes across to. And so then, you know, with your childhood. I just didn't know if it was like a tie-in or an influence or
Yeah,
anything
I
to that
mean,
extent.
you see that in like East Germany, right after when the Soviet Union just disappeared, you had all these buildings where people left pretty much
Mm-hmm.
overnight, so they moved to West Germany. And my mom and I actually we lived in a house where we weren't like supposed to live. We just went into a house that was empty and was like, okay, we're living here now. And never anyone never asked. It was just like, yeah, okay, it's like and it was like a little bit chaotic in my childhood. Like we moved a lot and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is like so many factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have like abandoned buildings in East Germany. You have towns that are pretty much empty. You can still could see um, like parts in East Berlin where they just didn't like rebuild the city. You could see like, I mean, in the early 90s, in way early, like 93 or something, you could still see from World War II like bullet holes in
Wow.
some parts of the buildings and
Mm-hmm.
stuff. And but only in East Germany, like in the Eastern Berlin part.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was never like, oh, let's make an image on that. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like a combination of things. And usually I don't consider like these grim topics, or if it's like a little bit moody.
Mm-hmm.
I never considered. I understand that people think that's grim, but for me, it's just like a form of beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like really that I think that's disturbing or something. It's just like fun to play around with these motifs, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it gives me a cozy feeling.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like it's fun to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's how. Yeah, I don't know. It's, for example, there's this movie Alien, right?
Mm-hmm.
Alien from the late 70s
Mm-hmm.
or early 80s, and I never I never found that particularly scary. It's just like a really comforting movie to me, except like the alien part, of course.
uh-huh.
Like, okay, you don't want that,
Uh-huh.
but the rest, like the design and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and you could consider the environment it plays in. It's just like a hostel. It's in space. It's a dark, big spaceship, and
Mm-hmm.
there's like an alien running around in it that's gonna eat you. But other than that, it's just like, I don't know, I enjoy looking at it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
just like a grim motive that's pleasing to me
Yeah.
visually and storytelling wise.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect. I just like these things, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
Yeah, I mean, whatever makes you comfortable. I
Yeah,
mean, I do think that if anybody has a takeaway, it's that outside of that alien trying to eat you, it's a pretty cozy place.
probably, right? It's, I mean, it looks warm.
Mhm,
You the design is cool.
mhm,
I would enjoy chilling there
mhm,
in the Nostromo. I
mhm.
think that's how it's called.
I don't know off the top of my head. I love, so for me personally, I actually really like your artwork. I love like the realism of it. I'm gonna pull up another shot of the multi shot from the like vaccines and the needles. And to me, like this, have you ever watched the Saw movies?
Yeah,
Okay,
I get this a lot about the multi-shot one.
okay, yes,
Yeah.
because that to me, like seeing this, like oh my god, like that when that girl gets thrown into
Yeah.
the, oh my god, it is, yes, that is such a cringe moment for me when she gets
Oh
thrown in.
yeah.
Oh my god,
It's very yeah, I get
visceral.
goosebumps thinking
Yes,
about it.
yeah, it's very visceral. Like you just like, oh, like yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's, your work is really really incredible. Do you think that for you, like as you, let's say hypothetically you continue to blow up, things continue going well, do you
Well,
get,
I hope.
yes, yes, do you think that you'll continue to get juice or energy from doing your regular 9 to 5 job, or will it be kind of like, all right, let me focus on the moneymaker and like the more pursuit of your own passions?
Okay, so let's just assume only goes up, right?
Hmm.
Or even if it stays like that. So
Hmm.
I just put out new work. I usually take between 2 and 10 months for an artwork of that
Hmm.
scale. So it can be I don't know, let's say every 5 months I release a new piece, or even if it's just once per year. And if I can sell one for the amount I sold the last one, I'm settled for life, pretty much. I never have to work for other people again. That would be ideal in my book, because I mean, that's the lifelong dream. You start out as an artist, you have anxiety disorder, you are depressed, you hate your job, you don't want to work for big ass clients that don't fulfill your artistic vision. I don't know. I mean, that's every artist's dream, is to make it as an artist that you can live only by your art, right? And if that happens, if it goes up or stays the same, I'm golden.
Yeah.
If it goes down, we have to see. So I'm right now, I'm still in my day job, but if the next thing blows up again, I think I will focus on this full time.
Awesome.
So I hope.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fantastic. I mean, that's, what I hope for a lot of people. You guys clearly work extremely hard, and there's a strong undervaluing of you guys within whatever, every community, right? Like, it's not just like a German thing, right? Like, and so I feel like it's a phenomenal opportunity. I hope you guys are able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, me too. It's just like I can't really fathom it still. I do that 17 years now and was always paid like shit.
Yeah.
Now I just released one thing that I did 4 years ago and it explodes.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I never thought it would go for that much. It's like mind-blowing much money.
Yep.
And so suddenly there's like this whole, you have always had this pressure. You go to work and the day starts in a way that you think, okay, I can't handle that anymore. I just want to stop. For God, like, please let it end. Please, I don't know. And then this thing happens, and all that weight you had on your shoulders because you have to work for companies you don't like, where you don't share any vision. I mean, that's like a pretty luxurious thing to say. I mean, there's like people in the world who they don't have work at all. They would kill to work for big companies, right? But like for a first world artist like me living in Germany, who already had the jackpot while being in Germany, being born in Germany, it's just like, I don't know, I can't. The thought of working in advertising until I'm 50 years old and then just retiring, it's just like, that's it. It's just so, the idea of it is so depressing to me. Really, it's, I don't want to say that I'm made for being an artist and that all that shit. It's just like, I do that no matter what. If I get much money from it, cool. If I don't get it, also okay, I guess. But I always drew pictures and always made like cool looking stuff on the computer since I can think. I mean, I got my first computer when I was 6 years old, and I already did like little pixel paintings on it. So it's the first thing I can remember really that I was truly in love with, that was truly magical to me. And I will never stop doing that, no matter what. If it's money, cool, but if it's not, it's also cool. And yeah, though this is the big dream, right? And it seems like it's coming true. For just like that. It's no soap opera, nothing. It's just no pre-game or anything. It just happened.
Yeah.
And it's like,
nuclear.
Nuclear. Yeah, and I still can't believe it. I'm having shaking hands like talking about that right now. It's whew.
No, I think that's incredible. It's a common theme from a lot of the guys that I'm talking about, like, regardless, where they're just like, this is all that I want to do. There's nothing else. And so no matter what happens, the art's going to continue.
I mean, I somebody asked that on Twitter, and I think that my answer was like, okay, compared to the rest to my art career or what I did in digital art the last almost 2 decades,
Mm,
crypto art is like a little blip on the radar, right?
mm,
It's just like barely even there. It's
mm.
4 months.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going for a little bit longer
Mm,
than that, but it's still, it's just like breathing in, and that's the part of crypto art compared to the rest of my body of work. And
mm.
so it feels like it's like this super fragile thing
Yeah.
that's about to go away, and everyone is saying no, it's gonna stay.
Mm,
I mean, imagine that there's like people around me that I hang out for years
mm,
with, that I know for 10 years, that are becoming millionaires right now.
mm.
I mean, what the fuck? Sorry,
No,
but
no, no. You're cool. You're cool.
what's happening,
Mm,
right?
mm,
It's why and how? Why not before that? Why
mm.
now?
Yeah.
And there's like all these questions, and yeah.
Yeah. I think so. The ongoing moment asked, I'm wondering if these sales are making you think about your next project as a new phase of your career, and if so, how you're thinking about this as a new direction. How are you growing as an artist beyond this milestone?
So yeah, that's an interesting question, because the thing that I released back then, the 6088 AD, that wasn't created with crypto art in mind. It
Mm-hmm.
was created as a tutorial project actually, and it's also captured on video, the whole process of the image.
Mm-hmm.
And if so, what I want to avoid is that I make images about crypto art
Mm-hmm.
and showing, okay, I'm doing crypto art now I'm putting like bitcoins in my
Mm-hmm.
pictures and stuff like that. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what it will do is that I maybe be able to do more stuff
Mm-hmm.
because I have more time, because I don't have to work for other people, right? And that I can like break limits that I couldn't break before, because I have money now. I can buy hardware that does things that I couldn't afford
Mm-hmm.
before that. It's just like I mean, I can buy like more expensive graphics cards that
Mm-hmm.
can do more crazy shit, and that enables me to do better work,
More
pretty
crazy
much, or
shit.
put, yeah, more crazy shit, yeah. And I think that will happen
Mm-hmm.
if it goes good, in a good way, and if it continues to go well.
Mm-hmm.
If not, I might still able to do buy buy myself some great graphics cards, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know really. I mean, I don't think it will change the artistic value of it, and it just will. I mean, they were pretty big before, and I still think they will be pretty big after that,
Mm-hmm.
or while it's happening. And the picture I'm working on right now also started before I got into crypto art, right? So it's like, usually my work is about, because it takes so long and over the span of a couple of months, it always changes. So I have like one visual in mind, and it gets influenced by the time I spend on it. It's I in some interview I said that my pictures are describing themselves, because they are hard to make, and that's what they are about.
Mm-hmm.
Something that is hard to make, or some struggle. And I think that won't change, because even if I don't have to work for others and can pay my rent, uh, it's still hard to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it alone, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much 100%. So yeah, I don't think that it will change the art.
Mm-hmm.
It might be, actually, it might make the art better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah. I think that's entirely possible. I think that so long as I'm nervous for the success of some people because, just getting that huge kind of influx of money and then the feeling that, oh, it's never going to stop. And, I just want people to, do things that are, and I don't think it's going to be wildly wildly impactful in that way to most people's lives, because most artists, again, have been struggling for so long. So most of them are just like, okay, what do I do with this? And so like they're very cognizant of the fact that it's, to me too, it's a fuck ton of money, right? Like it's game changing,
Yes.
life changing. And so I just hope that people realize that kind of consequence and like bundle some away for a rainy day. But
Oh yes.
yeah, yeah. But like, do you think that it would increase the pressure on you to like pick harder things, to pick bigger things, or to
I
yeah.
don't think the money does that. It does
Mm,
the pictures do that.
mm,
I actually had like an encounter with that.
mm,
It's so I made this really, I don't want to say famous, but it's considered famous by many people in the Octane community. It's like a parking lot with a floating astronaut,
mm.
and it's the actually if you
On your works page.
yeah, and if you your subscription for Octane runs out, it asks you to log in into Octane
Mm.
so it can check how if you have like a subscription, and that's the picture you see in the software,
Wow.
and also on their website and stuff like that. So this is like considered. I won't do that, say that myself, but people consider it to be like the header image of Octane render. Yeah. So and after this, when I did this in 2016, I think
Mm,
it blew up like nothing else I've ever done before.
mm.
It was just beyond, it was so crazy. It was like the notifications on my phone were like draining the battery because it was so crazy. It was
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
all like for days, and it made me actually really anxious because it was just too much stress, too much people talking to me, writing me messages,
Mm.
and then there was like people asking if I want to work with them, and I was like, oh God, no. And um, that might sound really arrogant not right now, but it's just it happened, and it was like stressing me out. And like a year later, when I started the 6088 AD project, I had the feeling that I have to top this
Mm,
because people I'm on the map for many people, right?
mm,
So I was a 3D artist before that, but
mm,
this image made me somewhat known in the community,
mm,
and the feeling that I have to one up this
mm,
was really strong and giving me a lot of pressure. And after that, I just thought, okay, fuck it, I don't care anymore. I just do whatever I want.
mm.
And that helps a lot if you
Yeah.
don't try to, I mean, a certain like amount of perfectionism is always it's going to be there, but it's not like, okay, I have to do this next one better
Mm,
because I already did one that is really great and I could do it again.
mm,
It's I don't have to prove that like
mm.
two times in a row.
Yeah.
And actually 6088 AD also did really well in terms of like recognition from other artists and stuff like
Mm.
that. So it's not like I have to do it three times in a row now. After that, I think I did Blitz,
Mm,
which also did okay
mm,
and was good, and I love it. It's my favorite piece I've ever done because I don't know, I just like it. And after that, I did two very small scaled pieces
mm,
for a change because I just wanted to do something small
mm,
once, and the next one is gonna be really, really big again, and after that, probably as well.
mm,
So yeah, that's it. I try not to, and when it comes to if we close the loop now and talking about the money, I don't think, I mean, what I could see happening is that I think, okay, I have to do more stuff faster
mm,
because then I get more money.
mm,
But that won't work because it takes so much time to do these. I can't do them in 2 weeks
mm,
or even a month. That would be like if I had to do really like crunch on it to do one of them in a
mm,
month, and they also it wouldn't be the same
mm.
because the fact that they take so long makes them look the way they look, right?
Yeah.
It's just like an artistic evolution thing because you go over details you did like weeks ago and you
Mm,
change them and you change them, and that helps the picture to evolve on into something else you couldn't do, like if you just look at it for like 2 weeks. Because if you look at an image for, I don't know, half a year, you see things that you wouldn't see after like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that I think that's, at the same time, this helps, but at the same time it's like standing in the way a little bit. So yeah.
So another great question from the ongoing moment, which is how did you end up getting that image onto the splash screen for Octane? And then my question on that same piece is, do you plan to do that as an NFT? Because I'm sure that's going to explode.
It's gonna be an NFT at some point. But that has to be planned very, very well. And yeah, I have to talk to a few people before that and like figure things out. The next one will be Blitz. And after that, I will maybe then 52 Hertz or the unreleased one. I don't know which one will be first. And yeah, and how I did it, get it on the Octane splash screen, that was really simple. I posted it in the Octane forum, and then Jules, the CEO of Octane, messaged me and asked me if they can put it into the 3.0 alpha version of Octane. And they did. It was in there within one release, and then it's in there since then. And I hope they won't take it out. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, your success probably leads to more clout of having that image.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know, really.
In that same vein, Yak asked, "What is there to figure out for people who have no experience in minting?" I think that you're talking in terms of like dropping and having certain releases and scarcity and all that kind of thing.
I have actually, I'm not a huge expert on crypto art or crypto in general. I'm mainly an artist. I'm still figuring that out myself. There's like talks about which days in the week are better to release, which time, because you have like American collectors and Asian collectors, and then I had no idea really. It's just like, I mean, just do good work and be active on Twitter. I think that's what I notice is that you need to be active on social media, so people know who you are and see your pictures. And then obviously helps is if you do pictures that people like. I mean, you shouldn't do pictures because of that, because people like it, or change your style so people like it. Just do whatever you want. But it helps if people like it. So that's all I did, right? So I posted my older stuff. It got picked up by a few collectors, and it went well, I guess, and it was okay. Then I posted a multi-shot, which didn't got picked up to this day, or not for the amount of money I have for it. And then I put out 6088 AD, which exploded. So it's just like, no, I don't have the formula to success because I made one big sale right now. So it's just like still in the process of figuring that out, pretty much. Yes.
Yeah. So ongoing moment, another great question from him was asking, is there any interest in terms of animation? Like, and from my end, do you think that there's a pro and a con for animation versus stills?
No, animation is totally on the table. I don't have plans for that yet, but I think I'm gonna do that at some point. And animation versus stills in terms of crypto art, I don't know. I think animations are a little bit more popular for some reason. I mean, it's the medium digital art supports this a bit, because you can print animations, right? And you have like the digital art medium that's like native to that. But other than that, is there like which is better? I don't know. You could like look at still image more clearly and figuring out details, I think, but you can show more content within animation. You can do storytelling way better, like linear storytelling within animation. Yeah. But it's not like, I mean, what will do better in terms of revenue? I think animation probably, but I don't have any data on that. So yeah, you should ask that someone who knows the market, because I think that also it's different between the platforms. So on I don't know, Rareable, it's probably different than on SuperRare or Nifty Gateway. I don't know.
Yeah. Dead Skull said, "Shout out to you for being so insightful and humble over the years. He learned a lot from you, and you deserve all the success." So that's always nice to hear.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Thank you. I know him actually. We're talking quite sometimes on Twitter, and he's a great guy.
Awesome. So Yak also asked, "Do you recommend minting for your first work the best piece or a less popular one to test the waters?"
I did a less popular one to test the waters, and I haven't still. I don't know. I wish I could say that, because so I thought about that a lot. Okay, what if I just put 52 hertz out right away and just boom, here you go, and then I put the older ones out, and they get picked up for much more money, because people know, oh, he's the astronaut guy, right? But I did it the other way around to test the waters, because I thought, okay, maybe if I post my ancient area network image, which is like the first one, not the first one, but one of the earlier ones, I think it's from 2011, and it got picked up, but not for like an amount that is like super mind-blowing crazy. It's still a lot of money, but nothing compared to like 6088 and maybe it was the right way. I have no clue. Really, I sometimes I think about that. I mean that's over now. I can turn the time back and look at it.
Yeah, I mean the success is already here.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's hope that wasn't like a one-trick pony, right?
Yeah.
So maybe 52 hertz won't do well at all. Could be. Maybe crypto art is over in 2 weeks. I don't know, but let's hope. So if we look at the trends, if there are any, let's hope it will go up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the Beeple piece will bring a whole new level of collectors and people, and just
I thought as
wallets.
well. Like, yeah, I mean, there's like Ethereum dips and going on and stuff like that, but I think so. My idea was, when I minted 6088 AD, I thought, okay, I'm gonna drop it on next week, or wait until Beeple's auction is over, because then there will be much more people in the community that want to have a piece of that cake, right? And then they're gonna invest, and then I wrote messages with Philip Hoders. I think you had him on here as well.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, fuck that. Just mint it now. They pushed so much money into the market last week. It's gonna explode. And it was like, okay. And then it was like super spontaneous. I thought I would just wait for another week, and it was like a spur of the moment thing that I minted it, and then it. Yeah, he was right. So thank you, Philip, for that.
Yeah. So I want to get to Philip, but I am interested because we've talked so much about your pieces. Do you think that you're going to do? This is actually from Dead Skull, and I'm interested too. Do you think that you'll do physical prints now that you're having more success and you can kind of capitalize on that? But also, it's something that I'd love to have, a poster somewhere in my house of some of your works too.
Okay, so I tried that before, doing on-demand printing. So you have these Society 6 and InPrint and Redbubble, I think. Is it Redbubble?
I don't know Redbubble, sorry.
Yeah, but it's like these websites you can upload your images on, and they print it for you and send it. First, they take a ginormous cut, like 50% or even more.
Yeah.
And then the quality is super shit. You don't have any control over that. You can't like see proofs or anything. They just print it how they want and then send it directly to your customer. And so I will never do that again. I want to have 100% control over every print and control how they the quality of the print, how they are packed, what's on the back, what's the paper like, everything. I want to control everything. And if in order to do that, you pretty much have to start a business around that. So you have to make a company, buy a printer, and have maybe people doing that for you that work for you. And so that's a lot of things to consider. Also, it should be like maybe a limited series. And also not of the work that it's like, I don't think I will for example 6088 AD, I don't think I will just publish prints of that. I don't know, I have to talk about that, but with like future work maybe. And yeah, but only if I can control everything. That's the thing. Yeah.
Detsko mentioned that you could go to like a screen printing house. I was thinking something similar of like a smaller, company that could handle the print, but also, had really good quality. And Ongoing Moment posted too. I'll link you them after. One is printspace.co.uk, and then the other one is
Oh yeah, no,
app.creative.
my ex roommate actually works at PrintSpace in Düsseldorf in Germany. They have an office here, and yeah, but they're really expensive. So you have like they are doing a great job, but and they also do this service thing. So they number your work, and you can like sign it, and they package it the way you want. So it's like an art service, but it's really expensive. So I don't know. Maybe that's an option once I'm rich and famous, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We have to see. That's just like way too early to see that now. And yeah.
I actually I just bought a piece that I got in from Boss Logic, and he did it through Imprint, and it was $50. It was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle piece. He retweeted me. This is to you too. Please don't retweet me. You're too popular. I get it. Whatever, dude. He retweeted me. I got retweets, likes for like 5 days. The way that you got overwhelmed, I got overwhelmed. I only got 600 likes. I don't want it. Like, just keep it yourself. If you like it, great. But
yes.
like, but yeah, the print quality on it was actually phenomenal. Like, it was actually really, really good. Yeah, like
the thing is, last time I did that, I had I forgot his name. He reached out to me and was like, okay, I got this print from Imprint from you, and it's really shit quality, and made photos of it. And I was like, oh fuck, that sucks. It's like the paper wasn't good. And maybe it's because he used a tier. So there's like different
Pricings.
tiers of, you can say, okay, I want it on an art print. I want an art print.
Yeah.
Maybe that's different in terms of quality. And the guy who messaged me just used an like a poster paper, and it wasn't like up. So, but I want to control that. Imprint doesn't like add the service, and if you so that you can like review each print and like say, okay, quality control passed, and here you go.
Yeah.
Also, they take a huge cut. I think even with them, it's like 40-50% or even more.
Not as worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think to like the Boss Logic.
Also, I want to limit them. So I don't want just like unlimited prints out there. I just want like, okay, here's 100 prints. That's it.
Yeah. I think limited is good. No, I think limited is good. Like it doesn't. It's hard to say, but scarcity is good personally, right? Like I like that it is. I mean, even if you just did like a limited run of, okay, like it's only going to be open for 24 hours or whatever it is. I don't know how many Boss Logic printed, but like to that discussion, Boss Logic printed like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle piece that has not been made into like an NFT. I do think that there is some argument to keeping the space separate, because you don't want somebody who has your NFT to then be like, well, what the fuck is it? You know what I mean? Like
that's why I thought, okay, maybe I won't make prints of six. I mean, there were prints, like there's like only a few out there of 6088 AD, and you also can like download the scene, but it's like it's the old thing. Okay, but everyone can download the JPEG. Who owns it now? No, of course, I own it, and or no radio owns it. Who
Yeah.
bought it for 60.88 Ethereum? But yeah, so that, but I thought maybe that's just like not cool for the collector that owns it now. If I put prints of it out there, but maybe I have to ask him, or maybe I should ask him, or have like a conversation about this, or it's doesn't matter at all, because I mean I still have the rights, right? And it's just like a different space where this happens. It has nothing to do with the ownership of the NFT. It's just like both of them just don't collide really, and yeah.
So
Not sure yet.
you happen to bleed your hand. I don't know if you want to talk about it. You have knuckle tattoos.
Yeah.
Is it PlayStation? Did I catch that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any other tattoos?
Yes, I have this one right here, which is really shitty. I have to let someone like go over that again. I mean, it's super old. It's like
looks very packaged.
Yeah, I mean, it's when did I get this? When I was 18, I think. Yeah, but it's just like, I mean, from that distance it looks good, but if you go close up, it's like all blurry and shit. And then I have this triangle thing right here.
Nice.
And that's it. That's all the tattoos I have. I want to get more, but what I hate with tattoos is you have to wait for a year until you make an appointment. It's like half a year or a year in the future, and I'm like, oh no, I want to have it now.
Yeah.
That was always like the thing, and I mean, I have friends who are tattoo artists, but then I usually didn't have enough money because I spent it all on some tech bullshit or some gadget or I don't know, an iPad or whatever. And but maybe that changes now. So we will see, right?
Are we gonna see face tattoos? You know, just
oh no, no face tattoo. But maybe I mean I have like weird ideas. I want tattoos about like building plans from IKEA and like schematics of a battery, and there's also this old MS-DOS game called Day of the Tentacle, right? It's from Ron Gilbert. It's like a point-and-click adventure. And so these old point-and-click adventures, they came with floppy disks, and because they didn't have like a software copy protection back then, they had these little codes in the manual that you have to, so you could only enter the game if you had the manual, the original manual, or you copied it in a copy shop. But they didn't think of that, and there was but still there's like these little icons that were the copy protection for that game. It's just like a flask with some schematic around it, and it looks really cool. And I think I want one of these icons as a tattoo somewhere or on my arms, maybe.
Yeah, no, it's dope. Yak said that he can see you becoming the next Post Malone. I can too, you know, just like a little, you know, eyebrow peak.
Yeah, no, I'm not a musician, so
a little different.
I don't know. Yeah, a little different. And I think this is also, I mean, this can look really like gamery and douchey, but just imagine me being 80 years old having that tattoo. It's gonna age well.
Yeah, people are gonna be like, "What's a PlayStation?"
Yeah, the older I get, the cooler it gets. So if an 18-year-old guy with like knuckle tattoos of a PlayStation controller comes along, you say, "Oh, what a douche." But I'm 32 now, and if I'm 50, it's always gonna go up.
Yeah. It's like a stock. Stocks go up.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's if an 80-year-old guy with PlayStation knuckle tattoos, that's classy. An 18-year-old guy is douchey, but an 80-year-old guy is
32 years. You're getting right there. You know, like it's
yeah.
So you kind of mentioned it a little bit, and I'm really curious. So you mentioned talking with Philip Hodas, and he mentioned wanting to work with you.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah. I feel like
happen.
Yeah, it better happen. I mean, I feel like that's such like a match made in heaven, and
I mean, I actually know him.
uh
We just like we started talking when we both entered the crypto art space.
mm,
We barely talked before that.
mm,
I don't know. Our path just didn't never like cross for some reason. We both knew each other.
mm,
We were in the same secret Slack channels and Discord discussions,
mm,
but never like really talked.
mm,
I always thought, okay, he's crazy famous. He has like 500,000
yeah,
Instagram followers, and who's this guy?
yeah, yeah,
But we really get along great, I think, and I admire his art and his particularly his skills.
mm,
So he's like really good at what he does,
mm,
and I just want to try it out.
yeah,
So just see, I mean, he always says he's not like a really good at modeling,
mm,
and he's like more like of a texture guy,
mm,
and just want to model like crazy and just give it to him.
yeah,
Here, texture that,
uh-huh,
and then see what he's gonna do with it.
mm,
And yeah, I think this is gonna be amazing.
yeah, yeah. I think that's like a match made in heaven.
Yes, I hope.
Is
I think it is.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anybody else that's like on your list of like people who you think you would like mesh really really well, or is like
Yeah,
yeah?
like Ash Thorpe. Like so we have the same taste.
Mm,
Like we don't have the same style, but we have like usually like the same things. So the same movies, the
mm,
same artwork, I would say. He's not in the crypto space right
mm.
now. I don't know if he will get there. He's like a busy guy. Do you know Ash Thorpe?
I don't
He's
know him well.
like, yeah, he's like he does yeah, artwork for and concept art for movies and games and design work.
Oh, so
And
he's like big, big.
yeah, he's really big. And then there is Rafael Rao. It's a close friend of mine. He's specialized on shading, so
Mm,
he knows all the physics around shading. If you want to know anything about shading and like why does metal behave the way it behaves, why
mm,
does it look like that, what is an extinction coefficient, and well, how does IOR works and stuff like that.
mm,
He knows that, and I learned a lot from him
mm,
like over the years, and he's really close friend. I know him for, I don't know, probably 10 years or more.
mm,
I think, I don't know really,
mm.
but I know him from a long time, and he's a great dude, and I can't wait to see him enter the crypto art space. And yeah, then who would I get along with well as well? There's like a bunch of people, I think.
Mm.
I mean, the thing is, so I work really weird. I don't Sometimes I work only 1 hour a day, and then the other day I work 12 hours a day. It always depends. And it's just like sometimes I work overnight,
Mm.
and I get up really early, and then I don't work for 2 weeks at all because I just want to play video games. So it's like, I don't know if there's like a perfect match for that, but
Mm.
I think like in terms of style, it's I think Philip Hodas would work,
Mm.
and Rafael Rao
Mm.
and Ash Thorpe and probably a bunch of others I'm forgetting right
Mm.
now. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. I mean, I definitely agree with the Philip Hodas comment. Like,
Yeah.
it's been crazy to see his success, and yours
Oh,
too.
Alex Rich.
Mhm.
He too. Oh yeah, perfect. He's not in the crypto art space as well, but if you see that, Alex, we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that pull of like, okay, you have some success. Hey, do you want to do this with you? Now you have some clout. Now you pull somebody in who's also pretty big and somewhere else. That pulls more people into the space. All that kind of thing is great for the space. It's great for you. It's great for them, right? Because like
Yeah.
they bring more fans to you. You bring establishment into the space, and so it's really just a match made in heaven. Where like, especially like given more continued success, who's not going to want to work with you, right? Like that's like the real question.
Who's not gonna work with me?
Exactly. You know,
Yes. No, I don't know. It's just like I don't think, maybe there are people who don't want to work with me, but
mm,
like yeah, it's I think it doesn't come like it always comes down like to personal taste.
mm,
Okay, if I mean you can see my images and then the pictures of someone else, and if they don't match at all,
mm,
that doesn't have to be bad, but it's just like
doesn't click.
probably not gonna work out
Hmm.
because I just do different stuff, right?
Hmm.
So, and I think it's not cool if both parties have to like bend themselves to make it work.
Hmm.
So it would be cool if both of them are in a comfort zone or go out of that comfort zone together.
Hmm.
So if they try something both sides never did before. And I mean, that can work. You can have like a guy or a girl or anything else do something that is more in my style, which is like a step out of their comfort zone for them, and I
Hmm.
do something in their style. But this is how like, yeah, it's like you have to communicate that before you start a project, and I think
Hmm.
there's not like many people willing to do that,
Hmm.
and I'm probably also not willing to do that.
Yeah.
So I just like my style because I mean that's my style. That's
Hmm.
why I do it, because I like it a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That makes sense. I I've been pitching this, and I want to have somebody make it happen. And obviously, there's going to be comparisons and contrast between multiple pieces. But it sounds like for the most part, the way that work is happening is like one person does like the modeling, and the other person does like the texturing or something to that extent, where it's kind of like
Yeah.
I'll do it this half, you do that half, or this piece, that piece. And I want to see personally somebody put out a model, right? Like you put out a model and you give it out to like 3 artists, and those 3 artists all have like their different take. Like maybe you have like Philip Hodas do the texture on one, and somebody who's trippy on another one, and somebody who does I don't know, uh, jungle theme or something like right. And like it would
Yeah.
just be really cool to see like what your models turn into from like the base clay to yeah.
I think I had this idea with like you'll get like a writer writing a script and give it to Christopher Nolan, David Fincher, and Martin Scorsese, right? And
Mm,
just the same script,
mm,
so it's exactly the same.
yeah.
And how different are the movies they make?
Mm,
And so if you give 3D assets to 3D artists, like the same 3D assets, I think it should work, like look completely different.
mm,
But if you give them a same brief as well, so for example, um, create an eerie
yeah.
scene with a back alley and an astronaut and a cat
Mm,
or something like that, I don't know, and give it with like give them the assets and the brief to that,
mm,
and then look how it turns out. I think that would be really interesting.
yeah.
That could be a cool challenge, but then you have to give them, I mean, there's like probably one guy who can make it daily,
Mm,
so he just does it in one day. Then you have this guy who needs a week, and then you have me who sits on it for 6 months or something. And
yeah.
so I mean, that would be interesting as well. But I would be interested in seeing like, okay, if everyone takes let's say 2 or 3 months, so you have
Mm,
artist A, artist B, and me, or whoever, and they all three take 2 months to finish the image,
mm,
how would it look then?
mm,
So everyone had the same time. Could you see like maybe that are there they I mean, you could see their style and
mm,
how skilled they are, and maybe it changes in terms of quality because someone isn't used to work for that amount of time.
mm,
Or I mean, I'm confident with spending months on a piece, but there I know for a fact that there are people that can't do it because it's just a long amount of time, and they want to do more stuff and different stuff in that time, and they don't like to waste time with modeling and stuff like that. So that would be really interesting to see. Yeah.
yeah. Dead Skull said that he's here for any Neon collaboration. Neon Gold said that everyone wants to work with you. He wishes that he could be your apprentice, or they wish that
Oh,
they could be your apprentice.
yeah, I mean, so I heard that in the podcast that it's like a little bit more common in the concept art scene that
Mm,
there's like really that some master concept artists really have apprentices.
mm,
And I thought about this, but I would never know what to tell them, because it's just like, yeah, well, sit down and model a chair and have fun, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, it takes a long time. It's I mean, you learn the basics pretty fast, I think, these days, because you have YouTube and all that shit.
Yeah.
Back in the days, we didn't have YouTube.
Yeah.
We just read the manual, and it was horrible.
Yeah.
But yes, I don't know. What do I tell a apprentice? Because I, like, 80% of the time, I actually don't know what I'm doing. So it's just like, I mean, or it's just like trial and error, and it's always a little bit boring, and it's not like that glamorous people think it is, and it's not like I'm a kung fu master and pressing buttons they never saw. It's just like the same thing they do, but like, it's like, I'm used to it, and I did do it for a long time. It's a long game, you know. I So like, someone who can draw really good, like, he's just literally holding the same pen as you. It's just like he moves his finger a little bit differently, and I do the same thing. I just maybe model things in a different order, or because I grew into that somehow.
Yeah.
It's like speaking a language in a way, and I don't know if you can, if people really want to hear that. So I can tell people, okay, yeah, just sit down and do it for 5 years, then you will be good. And they're like, but I don't. I want to know the dirty tricks. But isn't a dirty trick. It's just like, takes long and it's boring. So
Yeah.
it's part of it.
Practice.
Yeah, practice. It's just that. And I mean, I could use an assistant, but I mean, I would be against having an assistant for just like, I mean, I would love to pay them. And for the most part of my life, I didn't have enough money to pay any assistant. So that would be cool. Somebody who like makes preps assets for me and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think.
big artists, like big painters, also have assistants that like mix colors for them and stuff like. But this is also like a little bit arrogant, like, right? I'm a 3D artist. I have a computer. I sit in the front of a computer. I don't need an assistant, really. It's just, yeah.
It's no, I mean, I feel the same way. Like, obviously, I have limited success with the podcast, right? Like, it's growing. I'm having fun with it. That's why I'm here, and so I really enjoy talking to you guys. But like, I talk to people and they're like, oh, like, I used to have like the HyperX headset, right? So like, I literally I pull it out so that way it doesn't double record that too, right? And so that just gets removed. But I had that, and like, my buddy goes, hey, you sound kind of tinny. So now I bought this, right? And then like, people are like, oh, like, the lighting's not great, right? So then I buy like a ring light, and then people are like, hey, why don't you edit your things in Eclipse? And I'm like, bro, I don't have time. Like, I don't have time to do all this. Like this is, I don't get paid. This isn't my work. Like, this is just, I like it. I'm having fun. I hope it grows, but like, I can't do everything.
You will get there. The longer you're in the game, the bigger the gadgets get.
Yeah, repetition.
I recently bought a new microphone audio interface. I spent like $300 on like just recording my voice, and yeah, I can see it only going up.
Yak asked another great question. It's something that I like to get into also, which is, do you see a big upside of exclusive NFT platforms, or is there, like, what's the difference between like the different platforms in your mind?
I mean, I really only know. I mean, I know that there are like a lot of platforms out there, like Foundation, Rarible, Makerspace, but I haven't looked into them yet. I only know SuperRare and Nifty Gateway, how they work and operate. I think for the people in SuperRare and Nifty Gateway, it's really good that that aren't that many people coming in from the outside. And yeah, it's not good for the people outside that they don't accept new people. That, I mean, it's just like gatekeeping, right? And I think, but it can be necessary to let it, because I mean, it's hard to tell. I think the concept of some of these platforms only works if there's like a certain amount of gatekeeping. So don't let anyone in, control it a bit. And then there's platforms who strive that they have a big number of people with like different styles but don't sell for huge amounts of money. So it's like, oh, that's a really tough one. I don't know really. Again,
Okay.
I mean, in a way, I mean it's good because you as an artist are among like a few artists, but you also have friends that can come in and have and share the success you have, and I think that's good for the platform that they don't accept anyone because it gets more exclusive, and it's also the scarcity thing. And yeah, but and I don't know how they evaluate who gets in and who doesn't, but I think there's like certain factors for that. And yeah, maybe ask me the same questions in half a year and I have a good answer for that. But right now I don't know.
we so yeah, I think that that's a valid take. It's something that I just actually made like a thread on Twitter because it was something that I talked about with another interview, and so it was basically from talking to this guy. He manages YouTube platforms, right? And it's like YouTube is kind of steps ahead of where like the crypto art space is, right? And so if you look at it, well, how do you make waves in YouTube, right? Like you have to be hitting all different forms of social media. You have to be growing your presence. Obviously, number one is quality, right? Like you need to have good audio, right? So I bought good audio, you bought good audio, right? Like that's important, right? Like you need good video, so then you get good video. All these different things. But then once you get past like the content aspect and you have good content, well, how do you like break out of that? And so, organic growth is cool, but like at the same time, like you have to be hitting all the different platforms. You have to be, utilizing social media, right? Like Twitter is a great way to get your name out because that way you interact with people. It gets your Twitter page in front of people. They click your links. It's all funnel, right? Like I used to work in digital advertising, right? So you basically want everybody to move down the funnel to make a purchase. And so I worked in analytics, and so it was basically like digital ads running, and so you want to move people from awareness to really liking your stuff and engaging, and then you want people to actually purchase. And so it's the same thing. And so yeah, I hope that prior, because this is the first wave, and so I want the people in the first wave to be successful because you're first adopters in the space. I want everybody to be successful. Realistically, everybody can't be successful, like everybody can't. I don't know, but if you do the best to prep yourself now, by the time like this comes full mainstream, because we're still so early, that you can have like a dominant social media presence, that's important. And so that's, yeah, I just think that people right now are in a great opportunity and they have to capitalize, and I hope they do.
Yes, I mean, for how long does crypto art exist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have like, I think it started with these crypto kitties. It was like the first form of NFTs. Then at some point there was crypto art, and it's not too old. I don't know if we're the first wave actually. I think it's just the like the first before that there were always people like Park, for example. I think he's around it for way longer than I
Yeah.
am, like for a year or something.
Mm-hmm.
So before anyone knew what was going on. Right now it's just going crazy. I think it's close. No, I don't know if it's close to peak, but I usually say, so if your taxi driver asks you about NFTs, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't know, if if you read it in a newspaper, then it's like public
Yeah.
knowledge and everyone is into it.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing was like with the Bitcoin hype, right? In 2017. So it was like this niche thing. And then you had you had like the biggest German newspaper talking about Bitcoin, and then you thought, okay, yeah, maybe it's
Should have sold.
not wise to invest now. And I think so. We're not past that point yet. So it's just this will happen at some point, but I have no idea how, when, and how, or if it will happen at all. And there's also like this educational thing that people don't seem to understand it still, because it's always I get always the same question: is okay, so is it like people buying a JPEG from you, and why does somebody pay that amount of money for JPEG? Why?
And
It's
it's
just
not
stupid.
physical.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I had the same question, right? But if that snaps at some point and people understand it, I think maybe then that's the end of the first wave. Then I don't know.
Yeah.
We will see. But also, there's like new platforms coming. I think there will be way more platforms.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the biggest two are SuperRare and Nifty Gateway right now. Probably, I don't know.
I think so.
I don't have numbers on that, but it feels like it.
Yeah.
Right. And so maybe in 3 months there will be another platform that just crushes everyone wants to get to that platform from then on, because it's just like the new thing. I don't know. Everything can happen. It's just like only fog and uncertainties ahead, and I have no idea what will happen. It's just so fast and so crazy, and it gets crazier every week. It's just like yesterday, was it yesterday? Someone bought a Beeple picture for 6.66 million or something like that. It's just like, what the fuck?
It's a lot of fucking money.
Yes. And it's getting crazier every time.
Yeah.
It will be then the Christie thing is, who
What's
knows?
what's the
Maybe
bet?
in
What's the
2
bet?
months I can be like, maybe I'm getting auctioned off at Christie's at some point. I don't know. It's possible.
What do you think people goes for on Christie's? What's the guess?
So we're at, I think, wait, I have bookmarked it.
I think
We're
like
at
2.4 million.
2.4, yeah. Yeah, 2.4. Second day, I think the big bets will come in the end, and 20, 30, maybe 50 even.
Yeah, I think
So I
30.
think it will at least be 20.
Yeah. I was thinking, so I've told the story before, and it's definitely like a point of idiocy, but one of the pieces on Nifty Gateway was like starting off bidding, and I think one of like the Winklevoss twins was in it, and I was like, somebody bet or bid 6,666, and I was like, fuck it, it's gonna go higher, and I bid 7,777. I don't have, they don't charge you immediately, so it was like they put a hold, and so like it was the scariest 30 seconds of my life before that bid got beat. But like I was just like, oh shit, this is really, really stupid. Like I posted it like I have like a Discord with some buddies that like we talk about stuff. And so I like posted, I was like, should I do it? And like nobody responded. I was like, fuck it. And I like as I'm screenshotting like everybody responded like, no, don't do it, you fucking idiot. And then like I had already done it. And so then I posted the screenshot and I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh my God, why did I do this? Like I'm so and then like I'm like, whew, like all of this, like it was just like a wave of emotion of like, okay, I'm gonna do it. Okay, I did it. Woo! And then I'm like, why the fuck did I do it? And then I'm like, okay, I'm safe, good, yeah.
Yeah, I actually talked to Mike Beeple when I was at 12 Ethereum, right? The bid was 12 Ethereum. He messaged me and said, dude, hold on to it. It's at least worth 50. And I was like, what? And he's like, because I mean, I met him in Barcelona way back, and we rarely talk, but we know that we each other, he knows that I exist and I know he exists, and he said, hold on to it. It's gonna be worth a lot more than this. And I was like, no, that's not gonna happen. Nobody's gonna pay more than like maybe 15 for that. And boy, was I wrong.
Yeah.
So if he says I trust his prediction. Did he predict how much it will sell at Christie's?
I didn't see. I'm
No, right? But if it's at 2.4 now, and there was like already minted edition for one picture from a Nifty auction going for 6.6, I can see 20 or even more.
It has to be higher, and then Christie's is probably going to bring in. My twofold is I think Christie's bring in. We'll move on from this because we're here for you, but I think Christie brings in bigger buyers, and then also a Bitcoin whale could sit there and just be like, no, this is digital art space, throwing the gauntlet, But
yeah,
we'll go back towards you. There was another question in the chat, and that was that you show a lot of your modeling workflow in terms of like blocking and etc. but you show little of your texturing process. That is amazing. And so I think that they want to see more of the texturing, and they wonder why you're not sharing more of it.
I'm actually not that good at texturing.
Mm.
I mean, it's okay. It works for me. And, but usually it's just like, uh, I don't know. It also just like gives away too much sometimes. So if I have like, I'm in the mid, I don't know if towards what they're referring to, but if I'm showing on Twitter or Instagram, like, um, my wireframes when I just modeled something, I can isolate that so they don't see what project it is.
Mm. Okay.
And if I use, so when I textured stuff, it's sometimes in the environment it's going to be rendered in. So
Mm.
you have all the texture around it. Then you see also the lighting.
Mm.
And I feel like this gives away a little bit too much. So you can always see like a little bit how the mood's gonna be, maybe what's it about, how
Mm.
dirty it's gonna be, or stuff like that. And it's just like giving it away a little bit too
But you do it
much.
after.
Well, at the same time, I used to do it like just modeling and then texturing,
Mm.
but now it's just like a mix. So I model something, then I texture it and put it in, and
Mm.
or put it in and then texture it. It always depends on the model, and
Mm.
it's also sometimes like a back and forth. So I model something, texture it, then see, okay, the model doesn't work, then I model it again, or change something,
Mm.
texture it again, unwrap it again, or it's always changing. So there's no like strict way I do it exactly that way. It's just like whatever works best in that situation.
Mm.
And yeah, and usually for the project I'm working on right now, I can't show the texturing because that would just give it away. So I mean, I could, even if I take like a screenshot that's just like 200 by 200 pixel, like from one corner, you could immediately see, okay, that's a little bit moody in that direction. And
Mm.
I don't know, I just want to give the people when they see it, it should be like finalized in a big way.
Mm.
So they see it for the first time and it just like
Finished, polished.
pulls it pulls a strong reaction from them.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the next one is going to be really cool. I think it's just really, I'm planning that one for 4 years now, and I was always too afraid to do it, and now I'm doing it. So
That's awesome.
yes, I'm really excited.
Mm. So we already did an hour and 20.
Oh, really?
It flies by. I like to close out with a more metaphysical question, and yeah. So, what do you think your purpose is in life?
Oh, fuck me. What is my purpose in life? I don't know. It, yeah, just, what is my purpose in life? Just existing, getting by, don't die too early, and do what makes me happy. Oh, that's a boring answer, but it's just like, yeah, I just want to do my stuff, and I want to be in charge
Mm.
for the first time. Now is the time to be in charge for the
Mm.
first time in my life, like really in charge.
Yeah.
No clients, just me. It would be perfect, but
Mm.
I don't know if that's my purpose. It's just luck.
Mm.
So it's just I'm lucky.
Mm.
I was stupid and lucky. And I hope I continue to be stupid and lucky. Or not stupid, but lucky. That
Mm.
would be cool.
Yeah.
But
Lucky and
still,
less
no,
stupid.
yeah, no idea if that's my purpose. I don't know if I have purpose. I think it would be cool. I mean, I really like, sometimes people message me and say, your work inspires me and it's great and you give me hope. So there was like a month ago that some guy from Russia emailed me and said that my pictures give him a will to live. He's a drug addict and he is depressed and suicidal, and my pictures pull him out of that.
Mm.
And it was the greatest thing I've ever. I mean, it was just like three uh, rows of text. That's a small text, but boy, was that good to hear. I
Yeah.
just like, I don't know if it's that, I don't need money. Just that is okay.
Mm.
It's okay. I made someone happy.
Yeah.
Even if it's like, it's just I mean, I'm not curing cancer. It's just a picture. I'm sitting in front of a computer and doing pretty pictures in a 3D software.
Mm.
It's not doing much for society, right? But
Debatable.
if is that just like some teenager who is enjoying that and looking at it and say, wow, if you're browsing Reddit or 9gag or whatever and stop at my picture and look at it for 50% longer than you look at the other pictures, that's okay for me.
Mm.
I think that's good.
Mm. That's awesome, man. I mean, I think, I don't think that, it's almost like you're starting to see it now in terms of like mental health, where people are really starting to respect mental health a lot more. And I think that like this is a tangent, but like art is, and I'm not an artist, but art to me is like partially self-expression, and it's also like partially a connection to people who you invoke a response out of, right? And I don't think that it's really gotten, especially not the monetary respect, let alone just the regular respect, because most things that get respect do so based on monetary respect. And so
Yes.
this is finally starting to happen. And so, you know, just because, you like, you're kind of like downplaying like, how cool it is about like your art and everything like that. And I understand, but I think that, like this is that inflection point as far as art goes in terms of like a renaissance period of digital art where holy shit, like you can change or motivate or just showcase possibilities to somebody through art. And not that I'm not going to impose my thought process into your purpose, but that impact is immeasurable, right? Like how many people feel the same or you're doing the same but didn't send you the 3 lines of text, and like that's, I mean, that's incredible, dude.
It's just like the idea that I make a picture out of nothing and that evokes a feeling in someone.
Mm.
Just like I did something that controls how someone feels,
Mm.
for even if it's just for a minute.
Mm.
Amazing.
Yeah, the little
I mean,
puppeteer.
it's cool. Yes. Well, hopefully in a good way,
Yeah.
but still, it's just like, wow.
Mm.
And I hope it will go on like that.
Mm. Yeah, same.
That's my purpose. I hope.
Well, again, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate you, the chat, for a ton of great questions, because this was actually like the most amount of questions and people in the chat that I've had. So thank
Oh,
you. Also,
really?
yeah, we had like 15 at one point, so that was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for the time. I appreciate the answers and everything else. And I want to see a Philip Hodas piece in the next year. I think it'll be awesome, and
It will
let's make it
happen
happen.
at some point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Great.
Thank you so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it. And like I've told everybody, 6 months to a year, we'll check back in with you, and we'll run it back. Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
likewise.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you.
What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for the time, the attention, and the support. I really appreciate it. I will also be delivering a great shout out to the Twitch chat, because you guys really helped to drive this podcast. I really appreciate the questions and the engagement, and more insight into where he's came from and people who have interactions with him in the past. And so that's absolutely awesome. So as always, appreciate it. Thank you. Stay safe. Much appreciated. Peace.